Oh, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Josh Potter Show. It is I, Josh Potter. Thanks for checking it out again. Make sure you're subscribing and rating and reviewing and all that malarkey. Also, I want to let you know up on my Instagram at Josh_Potter. Also, the handle for my new threads. Got to get one of those going, so it's on there too. But over there you can find tickets for all the upcoming shows, and we just added one here in Los Angeles, California. I would love for all of you to come out. So many guests from the Roach Motel are going to be out there. It's going to be over at the Nitecap in Burbank, August 6th. Me, Sarah Weinshank, Kim Congdon, Johnny Pemberton. Hell of a lineup. Going to be adding some more as well, perhaps. So that's happening August 6th. July 20th, that's if you're watching this live, that's tomorrow. Going to be over in Wiseguys in Las Vegas. Annie Lederman's celebrating her birthday, and I don't dare say how old she's turning because I don't think she'd like that. But yeah, come on out. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a party. I'm going to be in Vegas again September 29th through October 1st for Skankfest. In October, I'll be at SoulJoel's on the 20th and 21st, so you can get tickets for that. And tickets are on sale for December. We're already got tickets on sale for fucking December. That's either a terrible sign or a good sign. And it's happening at the La Jolla Comedy Store December 1st through 3rd, and Side Splitters around Christmas time down in old Tampa Bay. And again, Josh_Potter on Instagram, or J_Potter on Twitter, where you can get those tickets. Today, a very special guest. You know him from his podcasts, Tuesdays with Stories, Mindful Metal Jacket's coming back, and also his Netflix, his YouTube specials.
Ouch.
Sorry about that.
I have a Netflix too, though.
You do have a Netflix.
That's a half hour.
But the hours are great.
Thank you.
I just said the wrong vehicle in which they can watch them. It's Joe List, everybody.
Hey. Whoa. I should have wore the can. I like the cans.
I love
can be
cans.
Like, what's up, man?
Yeah, because you can change your... Yeah, exactly. You can be like, and coming up here at 4 o'clock, we've got a block of AC/DC, or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean?
That sounded great.
Thank you. I like doing that from time to time.
After that, REO Speedwagon.
It's fun to do.
I went with a shittier band.
I miss talking up records, though.
Yeah, that's
fun. Like my favorite thing. There's never going to be a thing where we do that again, you know? Like, it's not like Spotify has DJs.
Yeah, no.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool to hear people talk between the songs every now and then?
Yeah, it was fun. I just hated when they talked during the intro, like they just acted like, and if someone's not singing, it's no problem to just talk over it.
No, I get what you're saying, but that was my favorite part, was to hit the post.
You know what still does is Sirius. You can get it. I listen to like classic vinyl, but ironically, I guess I'm on a different side because on classic vinyl, I think it's like channel 25 on Sirius Radio. I'll click over to it, and it'll just be like a lady being like, that came out, and then and I'm like, this, what are you, crazy? And I just click back over to someone who's not talking. Like,
there's also those ones where they play like alt bands and stuff where they're like, that was the Lumineers, or whatever that, you know, I can't even think of a band off the top. Alex, want to help me out? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I don't like the ones that are all like, and coming up, we're going to hear. It's like, all right, why are you whispering?
Right. They're trying to cause a car wreck, I feel like.
Yeah, they're trying to make me fall asleep is what they're doing, and then I'm going to veer off of the road or what have you.
Did you have David Allen Boucher? Was he national? This is David Allen Boucher with Magic 106.7.
I don't think he was national, but I do know who that is just because I'm a nerd. But and I don't. It's not like I was listening to air checks of his all the time, but I definitely have heard him before. Who was like the big guy that you grew up with? Because you were in Boston, right? Or like at least that market of radio.
Well, O&A was there, I guess sort of in high school. I never listened. I was such a music guy. I never listened to any shock jockey thing. I never got into Stern. I never got into O&A. I guess who else was there? I listened to some sports radio.
Yeah, was there any big sports guys?
There was like the Big Show, Glenn Orway, who used to be the play-by-play guy for the Celtics, and then there was like Felger Maz is like still on, but Glenn Ordway was like the big blowhard, like, we gotta get the Celtics, get a team.
There was another. Toucher and Rich, was that a
Toucher and Rich? I think they're still around.
Yeah.
That's big. God, I'm trying to think. I listened to like WZLX. They had Steve Sweeney in the morning, the comedian.
Oh, okay.
And there was Lauren and Wally. They were a big comedy team. They're still up there.
Did you ever get up on like when you were doing mics and shows around that area? Were you ever like on the morning radio show, like as a guy that they'd bring in? We got comedian Joe Listed studio.
No, I didn't do morning radio until I went on the road.
Oh, okay.
And I did nothing. Like my career has really been dog shit. I would have loved to have done it. I did Bob and Tom, which was like the massive show.
Oh my God, that's the one where they'd be like, say, you know how I have my buttons? They were like, isn't that hilarious, Tom? And then he'd laugh. They'd push a button that it was his laugh. He was like dead in the machine.
Oh wow.
Was he there when you were there?
I did it once with both of them, and then one has since retired. I can't remember.
Yeah, he retired, but they kept his laugh in a machine like it's a curse or something, like it's the Twilight Zone.
That's hilarious. Well, I did it when it used to be huge. You could make your career. In fact, our friend Henry Phillips just left, and he did really well off of Bob and Tom. And it was this huge show, and then when I did it, everyone was like, that's going to help you, whatever. And I did it. I didn't get a single message, friend request, nothing. It was just a dead show when I did it, which is the story of my life.
Yeah, I seem to be doing the similar route where I'll get things after they don't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, even the Netflix half hour, which I was grateful to have, and it paid well. Nate Bargatze like really blew up off of season 1, and he was like, "You got to fight to get the first spot. If you're the first one, forget it. Like you should just buy a house and get ready." And I did it. They were like, "You're going to be the first one out of the box," and
no dice.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't hurt my career,
sure.
I'm.
Well, I'm sorry I mislabeled the YouTube ones earlier, but those are fantastic. Obviously, people should check them out.
Yes, check them out. There's a new one coming on August 18th.
Yeah? Nice. Yeah. All right. We'll get ready for that as well. I'm glad you're here because oftentimes I have people here that never watch sports. And many of my audience, as I've learned through shedding a great fraction of them, doesn't like it either. So I'm happy to have somebody that I can talk to about sports.
I love sports. I love talking sports. I love watching sports.
You did Tom Brenneman, you did a podcast with him for a while there, right?
Yeah, that's your boy, right? You love Tom Brenneman.
Oh my God, I love Tom Brenneman. He was we were the first show that he did after his little incident.
Oh, wow.
This podcast was his first interview back. Got picked up by USA Today. It was my first journalistic endeavor.
No shit. Yeah, I love Tom. We did a show, the PBL Roundup for the Pioneer Baseball League, which I got to play for the Missoula Paddleheads.
That's crazy. I was going to ask you about how, like, were you, like, on the team for real?
Yeah.
I mean, because they don't care at that level, right? Like, but you're, like, kind of an athlete, though.
They care a little bit. I mean, so many insults. Netflix special when you mean YouTube.
So
kind of an athlete. I mean, I'm devastated here.
No, did I say kind of an athlete?
You're like kind of.
Oh,
whatever.
I meant like I meant more like your mother would say, where they're like, my son's a bit of an athlete. You know what I mean?
I'm a
like
premier athlete.
That's pretty
Throw
sweet,
anything
though.
at me. I'll catch it right now. Anything you can find in there. Toss it. No, so I signed a one-day contract, which the league framed and matted for me, which was great. And I thought I was going to get an at-bat, and it was too close of a game, and also they didn't want me to get one.
Were you like a DH, or did they put you in the field?
No, I mean, I didn't get to play at all, but I did coach first base, which really gave me a window into how much first base coaches don't matter. Because they're like, get out there.
I always said, I was like, I'd love to just be a bullpen guy, or like, you know what I mean, or a dugout guy. Just be the guy in there that's just like, looking good. You know what I mean?
It was really fun, and I was all over the umpire and stuff. I'm like, where was it, Blue? What is that? And that was fun, and coaching first was cool.
What position would you have wanted to play if they threw you out there?
I think outfield. Just the infield is just too fucking terrifying. Like,
say you were great at it though. Like, say you were like gonna crush it. Would you pick third base?
Oh, like if I was like a great athlete. Yeah, maybe third or shortstop seems fun. Center field.
Of course, the cool ones.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be a fucking first baseman.
First baseman's kind of cool, but it's kind of like this guy's either like super huge and can't run fast and can just, mash, or it's like he's super fat and they're just like, we got to put him somewhere.
Yeah, it's end of the career, or we just need to stick him somewhere.
Yeah. This guy's not running a lot, is what it says, if they put you at first base.
I guess ultimately shortstop. I mean, third base is bananas that people even play that. I've told this story before. I was playing softball. This is when I was still drinking, and we played a comic softball league, and I was playing third base all day, and there was a moment where I just had to stop because I realized I had been drinking for 3 hours, and I didn't have the reaction time, and I was like, time out. Hey, somebody switch with me. I was like, I can't, because you're like 60 feet away, and there's a few guys that can really rip. and you're just like, I can't be this close to the baseball bat.
Yeah, especially like a right-handed batter just drilling one down the third baseline. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the ground, it will fly past you. I always had a dream of doing that. Like I thought there's a comic softball game here in LA, and I asked a couple of them, I'm like, just give me one inning just to see what it's like. I've never stood there and to play third base. I'd like to try it. But they were like, no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, I'm surprised more people don't get fucking smoked down there. I guess you just have reaction time or whatever, but that's definitely the scariest position to me.
I saw there was a Mets game over the weekend at night, and sometimes the ball goes popped up into the lights, and then they lose it in the lights. This one was so crazy though. I mean, baseball players are getting so strong, and like it's getting bananas. Like the spin on this ball was so crazy. They showed a stat cast of the ball traveling in the air, and it did like almost an entire loop-de-loop.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
And everyone's like, fucking Brandon Beatty, what a bum. Can't even catch a fucking pop fly. It's like, first of all, it almost knocked a plane out of the sky. It went so high, and it was in those lights, and it had such a trajectory that it's like the fact that he even came close to catching it to me is insane.
No, it's hard. Well, I did. So I did. I took outfield with the Missoula Paddleheads, and it was up in the mountains, and they were saying, they're like, just a heads up, like the ball's deeper than you think, and it's coming in faster than you think. And I was like, all right, I played my whole life. I'm not worried about it. And I didn't catch one. Because it's also like batting practice, so they're not like pop-up. These guys are like smoking balls, and they just sail over your fucking head. And I'm like, I grew up playing, like the first step is always back and all this stuff. And I think I was camped under it, and just goes like right over, like a fucking missile.
Like a sniper bullet.
And it's making that noise. Like it's like, those things are sizzling.
You can hear it coming in.
Yeah.
That I always think about that too, like even in the daytime, it's like the sun is out.
Yeah.
What if the ball goes into the sun? How do they do it? Like, I feel like Angel Stadium is constructed so the outfield just stares at the sun all afternoon, and it's like, how are they catching any of these, let alone the hard ones?
No, and if you don't catch it, you're considered like a piece of shit. It's
whoops,
look at this idiot.
Yeah, there's thousands of drunk people behind you that are going to be like, fuck you! You know, they're just yelling at Mike Trout, who's arguably one of the best, and they're like, fucking, Mike Trout's a fucking bitch. Can't even catch that or whatever. Didn't even rob that home run. What a loser.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I'm glad that I could nerd out for a second about baseball. We don't always just talk about like X's and O's here. We never do, as a matter of fact. It's usually about nonsense that's going on in the sports world.
Ex. Hello, folks.
But let's get into some of the sports happening around the world. Beep, 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. And I'm sure you're familiar with Johnny Bench.
Certainly, yes.
Big time Hall of Fame catcher. Used to play for the Cincinnati Reds back in the day. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know out there,
huge hands. They say.
Huge hands?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like they model the catcher's mitt after his hand, you think?
Big old hand. Could really crush a dick if he had to.
And he could finger a girl probably pretty great.
I would imagine.
If you had big hands, would you even care how big your dick is?
I'd still want a decent dick.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want giant hands and a teeny dick.
Yeah, if your middle finger's bigger than your dick, that is trouble, I'd imagine.
I guess you could fake it, go down there.
Sure, but then you really got to like position yourself in a certain way probably to fake that.
Yeah, and she's like, your dick keeps bending and then straightening over and over again.
No, baby, I'm rubbing your clit, but it's really your dick that's rubbing your clit.
I'm like, I got a hangnail on my dick. Just leave me alone.
I wonder if it has to correlate, right? Hand to dick.
I believe so. I mean, I don't want to sidetrack you here, but I have
not at all, please.
I have a neighbor friend. She's a woman, and she believes that she can tell who has a big dick based on thumbs and nose.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, thumb, nose, and I think maybe ears too.
Huh.
And
well, I'm fucked if it's ears.
I don't know. I might have made it the part about the ear. I think ear was in there, but thumbs, and so I was like trying to do like this, so it made it look like I had a really long
yeah,
thumb.
you go like stretch it out. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I think I got decent thumbs, a nice thumb.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But she said...
You're a tall guy, too, so you got that like Pete Davidson kind of thing going on with your dick?
Huge dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
sure.
It wraps around and into my asshole. But she was saying that she was like naming comedians that she thought had big dicks, and one of them was Ari Shafir, and I can confirm that he has a huge dick.
Nice. Is that the only one you could confirm or deny?
Yeah, that's because I see it.
We got to get a bigger sample size. We got to. You should ask those comics to see their dicks so you can confirm.
Yeah, we got to find some big-thumbed, big-dicked comics.
That'd be a funny way for like a closeted comic to go around and see people's dicks without like confirming that they're gay. Just being like, "There's a girl. She said you have a big dick based off your hands. Let me just double check."
That's not bad.
Yeah, see, I'm sneaky like that.
Wow. Be like, yeah, could you send me a dick pic and then I'll forward it to her?
Yeah, no, then I'll verify for her whether her theory is right or wrong.
Right.
You know. But Johnny Bench probably had a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And recently he got it. He went to the old Hall of Fame induction for the Reds. The Reds do their own personal Hall of Fame induction. Did you know Bronson Arroyo played for the Reds? I had no idea.
Yeah, of course I knew that.
I didn't know that. Because I came to baseball late in life. So like 2004 when the Sox won the World Series, I only knew Bronson Arroyo from that.
Yeah, I think he might have gone to the Reds in 2005, like the next
the next year?
He went straight from there.
See, I had to catch up as an adult. I've spoken about it on here. COVID is what like made me obsessed.
Wow.
So I have
that
like
really is late.
Yeah, it is. It's totally. I mean, I love hockey. I love football. There are local sports teams in Buffalo that are hockey and football. There's no baseball,
right?
Other than like AAA. So I never really gave a shit. And then I just during like slightly before COVID, but COVID like put it into overdrive. It just made me obsessed with baseball.
It's a fun game.
But Bronson Arroyo, when he was playing for the Red Sox, my buddy, his aunt, it was his aunt. She was like kind of a younger aunt. She was bragging about how she was fucking Bronson Arroyo.
Wow.
And she had his phone number, and we took it from her phone. And that night that they won against the Yankees, where he was pitching, like I think it was game 5 or 6. I don't know if he was in the clincher or not, but we just blew up his phone and left like 1,000.
Oh, wow. Well, he was at the heart of controversy because A-Rod slapped the ball out of his hand.
Right.
Remember? That was a huge lead.
Yeah, when he like was running up after they threw him out at first.
Yeah, big turning point. That was game 6.
Yes. So, yeah, we blew up his phone, and I never called back. But that name will always stand out. You know what I mean? Because I have like a dead space of who was playing baseball when. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The like the 2000s, the 90s. I know a bunch of people, but it got blurry there. But he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Cincinnati Reds. A couple other players, Danny Graves was getting inducted as well. But Johnny Bench was there to talk. And, all the muckety-mucks, the managers and, the people that run the front office were there inducting people and making speeches and things like that. And who is this person? Gabe Paul. He is the late Gabe Paul. His daughter was there to represent him. And during her speech, Paul noted how her father was Jewish and became a champion for minorities in professional baseball. Rose then spoke about the general manager who died in 98 and recalled the story about his contract. He said, "I was right out of high school in 1960. Gabe Paul signed me to a contract for $400 a month." That's what Pete Rose was saying. And Paul chimed in, "That's pretty cheap." And according to the station, Johnny Bench then jumped in and said he was Jewish. And everyone's up his ass now.
Oh, I thought this was going to be way worse.
That's what because after all the RFK stuff, I saw, everyone's like, oh, anti-Semitism. Then I saw Johnny Bench made anti-Semitic remarks. And that's all it was.
Yeah, that feels like an old baseball guy making a joke.
That's all it was.
Yeah, especially if he said, well, he was Jewish. It sounds like he was saying it like, boop,
yeah.
Boop.
Yeah, and it doesn't
sound like he's like, these fucking Jews.
yeah. He goes, yeah, well, he was a Jew. He didn't say it like that. He said it like laughingly. And I mean, the guy was Jewish, so I don't even understand. But it said here, the woman, the daughter, she said, I didn't even hear him say that. Johnny came up to me and said, were you offended? And I was like, for what? I didn't even hear him say that. I suppose if I had heard him say that, I might have said something, but I didn't even hear him say that. Bench apologized for the remark on Sunday.
But also, isn't it, I don't know the whole story, but doesn't it, the joke is that it was 1960. I mean, isn't that what makes it funny?
Yeah, no, I mean, who knows what $400 a month was? Even then, though, it sounds like it was nothing, right?
Well, Google would know. Let me look at 1960 money.
Can we get a Google on that bad boy right there? We got our Google.
Yeah, you guys got things back there.
Yeah, let's see what inflation has done to $400.
I'm gonna say it's the equivalent of about $17.50 a month, which is still very low.
You think it's that low? I'm gonna say it's $4,000, or it's like $5,000 even.
Oh
right
wow,
on, Josh, yeah.
4,100, 4,000.
So $400 is equivalent to over $4,000 now.
Okay, 4,000 a month. That's an okay living.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for a professional baseball player, though, you go, is it?
But for a rookie, an 18-year-old rookie.
That's true. And back then, baseball probably wasn't, having so many crazy contracts as they obviously have now.
Yeah, can we get one more? What's the top salary in 1960?
Ooh, and
or
then
the average salary.
And then we can inflate that one and see what it's comparable to now.
Oh God, there's a graph. I hate a graph.
It's a chart. It's a
chart. Yes. What's the difference between a chart and a graph?
A graph shows over time, like the changing of levels.
Oh,
like this, and a chart would be basically just categorizing things.
I see.
Am I wrong? Anyhow, what does it say there? Anything?
The top player could expect to receive a salary plus bonuses of $35,000.
And $35,000 in 2023 compared to 1960. Can we do that one?
So $30,000 for the season. So he's making $400 times a 6-month season is what? $2,400. Yeah. Okay. So it's a very low contract.
Or $24,000.
Yeah, it sounds like this Jew should have given him more money.
What does it say it's comparable now? So I bet you it's like 200,000.
It's like 300.
309,000. There you go.
Yeah. So I mean that's not even league minimum probably by today's standard. That's like less than a minor league player's making, and they make them sleep in apartments stacked like cordwood.
Yeah, I think league minimum now is like 750,000.
Yeah, so it is pretty cheap. So Johnny Bench was not wrong. And he wasn't.
Whoa. Let's keep it cool.
But anyways, I hope Johnny Bench doesn't get canceled for
I think
stating that. I think he'll be fine. Even if at some point, do you care how old you are? And you're like, well, whatever.
Yeah. Also, this is like clearly a story that will move.
Yes.
So fast. I mean, like nobody remembers that like people kicked in the doors of the Capitol and like walked around in there and like wiped shit. Like people are like, what? So I think Johnny Bench being like, Jews, I think that's going to be, by the time this comes out, it'll be over.
They're not even taking a crowbar to his Hall of Fame thing or anything like that,
Yeah. I think
the Jews have other enemies at the moment that are running for president and things like that.
Mm.
But anyhow, also we have a video of, now you've been to many like minor league games, things like that. I love going to the various stadiums around and about our great country. But every now and then you run into some local folk that maybe take it a little too seriously.
Sure.
Have you ever encountered any of these types? What's your craziest like fan story, I guess, like encounter?
I'm trying to think. I don't have a really insane
even in Boston, you would think.
Oh, you mean like at like
in
big,
general,
I thought you meant in minor league.
Oh, sure, in general.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some crazy ones in Boston, fist fights. I know a guy personally who threw his dip spit in the face of a fan.
Oh my God.
It was when interleague play first started. It was Red Sox Phillies, and there was like some Philly guys, and they weren't being that like he jumped the gun on it. And he had been, spitting, had a big dip in, and he just whipped it in their face. And it was like really quickly elevated, where I was like, that's a move. Somebody would have to be really having sex with my mother against her will before I threw dip spit in their face.
Yeah, that's quite the escalation.
It is.
Of things. What was the thing that led up to it that he jumped from?
I can't even really remember, but it was definitely one of those moments where we were like, that was...
He just brushed his shoulder into him or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. So I've seen things like that. And also, I've told this story before, and I can't even use this language. We'll have to beep it up.
Get ready to beep.
People, you can use their... I'll say it and then you beep, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, including myself. But this is when Manny Ramirez still played for the Indians. We had good seats at Fenway.
Was Indians what we have to beat?
This is Indians. No. That too, yeah. They were playing the Spiders or the Guardians. Should have been the Spiders.
The Spiders would have been cool.
They went Guardians. Anyways, he said, this guy yells, like in a box seat, he goes, Manny, you take it up the fanny, you fucking And I was like 10 years old, and I was like, whoa.
You know what's crazy? That word was like pretty used heavily, like even just on television, like a decade ago. Isn't that wild? Like, have you ever? It's so crazy. Like, I rewatched Entourage for some reason. I just wanted to see like what it was, because it was like before Twitter. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to see like what LA was like encapsulated in that time, and they're throwing that word around like it's going out of style. I mean, it was crazy. It was going out of style, but it was crazy how often they used it.
Yeah, there's an episode of The Office where they find out someone's gay in the office, and there's like crazy slurs going on there, and
it's almost like when you watch it now, it's like shocking.
Yeah,
so weird.
No, I mean it's hilarious. The episode's amazing, and everything about it is great. But you're like, oh, geez.
Yeah, you just hear it, and you're like, like I even like an episode of Cheers I watched, and it's an episode where like Diane slaps Sam in the face, and then Sam just slaps Diane, and I was like, oh, but the crowd like laughs like it's the funniest shit they've ever seen.
That's a legendary moment.
Yeah.
And Teen Wolf, you know that scene in the garage where he's like, you're not gonna tell me you're and Michael J. Fox is like, I'm not a
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like being gay would be the most heinous thing. There's so many. That's like the basis of all these Friends episodes too. It's like where Chandler's like, I'm not gay. Like it's like such a curse to be.
Yeah,
it's wild. I think that's kind of cool though. I mean, that people are like shocked at things like that now, because it makes certain things in comedy like edgy again. Like meaning like it's just, you don't even have to be. I was talking about that with somebody recently where they were like, the crowd was like, it wasn't even a trope, a racial trope that is like that edgy or anything like that, and the crowd was like, oh, but they laughed as if it was like they were hearing it for the first time, something of that effect.
Right.
Which is wild to me. It's just like it's going backwards, but then now it's getting like, I don't know, easier to be edgier again, I guess. I don't know, or controversial or what have you. But this gentleman in this video, he is yelling at the umpire for whatever reason. This could even be like a Little League game. I'm not even sure the context of this. I would have even thought in Boston, like, Little League games get wild.
Yeah, I guess so. We used to drink beers at the Little League games. Like, I lived in Everett, Mass, which is like a suburb of Boston. We
As
would go...
a child on the team, you?
No. This is like in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
We would like brown bag beers and go watch Little League games.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
It was fun.
That is fun. So this guy's definitely drinking, I would imagine. So he's yelling at... It's a very empty stadium. And now he's going down to approach the field.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. His legs
That's like
gave
double
out.
hyperextension.
Yeah, like, I can't tell exact. It's not like he broke anything. I love hearing the woman's commentary.
That's rough. The lady that's coming to help looks kind of hot.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind her.
This is like a college baseball game. It looks like
That's
a
what
stadium.
I'm trying to figure out what it was in. It doesn't look like unless it's like one of those rich Little League things. You can pause. Oh boy!
God, it's so funky looking.
All right, you can pause.
I don't like it at all. Bah!
There you go. Pause it.
Yikes!
It is bizarre, but that's kind of karma, isn't it? I mean, if you're shouting at the umpire, I mean, I guess if the call was bad, maybe not. But boy, oh boy. That's embarrassing to have that happen to you after you've made a fool of yourself.
Yeah. By the way, they're having trouble getting umpires all over America because it's such a thankless... I think HBO Sports did a thing about it.
Oh, really?
Because everyone's like beating up umpires and shooting them and stuff. Yeah, it was like on HBO Sports, which is the best show on television, by the way.
It is fantastic. I watch it indeed. You know what I've been watching too is the quarterbacks.
I've been seeing the preview. I haven't watched it yet.
I started blazing through it. It's made me, and I don't know what it is. I love a degenerate type player. You know what I mean? That's kind of more my speed. Like a guy who would be like, drinking the night before, and then they go and they throw 5 touchdowns. I'm like, that guy's the fucking man. You know what I mean? I don't know why I have like a penchant for that kind of thing. But Kirk Cousins always seemed like a dork to me.
Yeah.
He seemed lame, and I was like, I don't like Kirk Cousins. He seems like a dork or whatever. And then I watched this show, and now I'm like, I think I like Kirk Cousins all of a sudden. He's like affable. His wife's hot. Oh, my Lord.
Does he get after it? Does he drink and shit?
No, that's my point. Like, he's the opposite of that. He's like talking
see.
about God and shit, and he goes home and he like builds a fire. He got like at one point in the show, he's sitting at a campfire with his son, and one of the embers like burns a small hole in his sweatshirt. He goes, "That was my favorite sweatshirt." And I'm like, "Well, you're Kirk Cousins. You could buy another black sweatshirt. It's not even. There's nothing special. It's like the blandest sweatshirt you've ever seen. And he's like, "That's my favorite sweatshirt." Well, I guess it's my campfire sweatshirt now. And you're like, "Wow, this guy." And I would never be able to talk about anything. I don't think, never relate on any level.
So how many quarterbacks are on the show? I haven't seen.
It's
the program.
Kirk Cousins,
Mahomes.
who is kind of in the middle, and then Mahomes is like the example of, obviously he is the face of the league. He is, winning Super Bowls, MVPs, and things like that. And then they have Marcus Mariota, who essentially loses his job at the end of the show.
Wow. Where does he? I don't even know who he plays for.
Well,
anymore.
he played during this documentary. He played for Atlanta. He has on a 1-year deal. After Matt Ryan was shipped off, they brought in Mariota to play for 1 season and start, and they drafted Desmond Ridder to sit behind him and chill. And then Mariota lost his job to Desmond Ridder, I think by week 9 or something like that.
Wow.
And then now Desmond Ridder's the starter, and Mariota is the backup for the Eagles now.
No kidding.
Yeah, but it's a great show, and it gives you interesting access, and it even makes me think Mahomes' daffy wife is fun. It's changed my opinion on her too.
No kidding. All
I
right, I
thought
gotta
she was a
check
monster, but now I think she's cool. So look at that. I mean, hell of a show. But yeah, no, I thought that was an interesting video with that guy losing his footing. I thought maybe for a second he was really wasted, but it is like an old man injury.
It's jarring. I don't want to think about it anymore. It looked like his bones were gonna shoot out of the skin.
It looked like something snapped. I thought at first. But
Wow. I keep thinking about it.
But do you are you excited because you're having a child?
Yes.
Are you excited for them to be involved in sports? You're going to be a sports dad.
I can't wait. And it's what sucks is that it takes so long. They're just like a baby. In my mind, I'm like, we're gonna go to. Well, I'll take them to Devils games. We'll go to the Mets games because I live in New York. Even though I'm in New England, I was like, we'll drive up to Boston. I'll take them to Patriots Day and the Sox. But first he's just kind of there. But yeah, I'm hoping. I'm tall, and I'm hoping for a big, lanky tennis player, baseball player, maybe a pitcher and tennis player, dual sport.
Ooh, okay.
The sport. I don't want him getting a concussion and.
I guess no, we've talked about that. I've never put it on having a child and putting that on. I always said if I could go, if I could be an athlete, I wowould pick baseball. It seems like the chillest. You don't get hurt. You could play longer. You make a bunch of money. It's the most fun. You're just outside with your bros.
Yeah, you're hanging out a lot.
You could smoke cigarettes and play baseball. You could drink beer in the clubhouse. Football, I would be like, what am I going to do? It's like I'm getting in a car accident every day.
Yeah, football is the worst, for sure.
Not my cup of tea. But so are you going to be one of those dads that's shouting at the umpire and stuff like that when they're playing the things? Or are you going to be chill? Are you going to be the one with the oranges?
I'm this guy. I have nieces and nephews, so we got a little taste, but I'm the guy that stands behind home plate and goes, "Hey, Blue, how you doing? Good game, huh? That was a little outside." I try to make friends with the umpire.
Yeah, sure.
I like to be that guy. And I keep it fun and sweet, but also when they get to an age, if they're really doing well, you got to be like, all right, well, here's what it takes. God damn it!
You're throwing out grounders and shit. You got to get back into the fucking backyard.
Yeah, you want
field some grounders.
You know the great Jordan story that I love. His father said, "Next year you're gonna have to work twice as hard as everyone else." And Jordan said, "I work just as hard as everybody." And they said, "Son, do you want to be like everybody?"
That is a great quote.
I'm going to be like that guy, except not get shot in my car. I'd like to live a longer life. But
well, hopefully your kid doesn't have a gambling debt and has the NBA kill you.
Is that what you think?
I don't think it. I just think those things are fun. I also think
absolutely,
it's fun to think Michael Jordan's son is what's his name from
Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I read one little theory about that, and I was like, for sure, that's absolutely.
That's what I said. I go, if it was 9/11, I'd have been like Tower 7. I would have been all about it. You know what I mean? If it was the same, if you were to put the Michael Jordan on 9/11, I would have been all convinced. That's how. I mean, they had the images of him. We've showed him on the show here. The images of Jimmy Butler next to Michael Jordan, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things there. And then there's always somebody that ruins the conspiracy theory because they're like, nope.
Yeah,
you're like this. Damn it.
I'm the guy in the bar that's like, did you hear? One guy in a bar can just convince me of anything, I think, but sports related mostly. But I'm the guy that relays the information and someone always shoots it down, and I'm like, well, that's no fun.
Well, I have such a hard time. I was talking about this earlier with my buddy. it's just like I'll start believing anything if people tell me. I'm like, even if I know it's right, I'll be like, shit, okay, I guess so. And I remember one time, I'm just going to drop his name here and shit on him. Jason Lawhead, you know Lawhead?
Yeah, of course.
Great guy, big sports guy. He asked a trivia question, and he said that Fred Lynn won the 1975 World Series MVP in a losing effort. And I was like, really? I was like, that doesn't sound right. But then I was just kind of like, okay.
And
then he had to call me like 2 years later, and it was like totally. And this is before like we had smartphones on us, I guess.
Sure.
And I was like, he was like, no, that didn't. I fucked up.
At least he called you and admitted it.
I believe he won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year, and might be the only person to do that. But he just threw out there that he won the MVP of the '75 World Series, and totally did not.
I've been convinced like that of things. Thank God for the phones, because I mean, I've had times too where I'm trying to remember something, and I don't know. Did people just exist with that in their brain? That fucking terrible worm in their brain when they couldn't figure something out. They're like, God, they're just asking everybody at the bar. How did they get through that? You think they just moved on?
Yeah, I think that still happens occasionally. I'll try to like Google a word, but you can't figure out the word. But yeah, I think so. I think you just went, well, we don't know.
I mean, I didn't go to bars before smartphones, so I have no idea. But boy, oh boy, they've definitely solved some fights. You know, things could have come to blows.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Yeah, you must have been. You're old enough to be in bars before.
Not really, but I mean, before. I guess you're right. Flip phones.
You would have turned. Oh, I guess you would have turned 21 in what?
06,
07?
Or no, 07. Yeah. So I mean, my first iPhone was like what? 08, 09?
Maybe I just got a phone really late because I'm a piece of shit.
But also, I remember I had a flip phone that had Google on it, and that was pretty like at the time. Everyone's like, oh shit! But it cost like $8 to just Google one word.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a long time before I started.
But I remember bets were being settled. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't like I was getting in fistfights over, who won the Stanley Cup in 2000, and you know what I mean. So I just think I imagine many fights have been solved thanks to smartphones.
Right.
You know, since before that, people were probably like, no, that's not the answer, you fuck.
But it hurts conversation, too, because then the conversation lasts 30 seconds.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah.
Or you're just both doing research the whole time you're sitting there.
Exactly.
Well, elsewhere in the, we don't have any more sports, but we got news here now. Let's rock that out. Oh boy. Many Roach reporters sending things in. joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send in things that you'd like to be covered on the program. T-Bone sent this in. This is about hot cop-on-cop action. And this is going to get spicy. I hope you're ready.
Oh, I can't wait.
A female Texas police sergeant has been fired following allegations she had sex with another officer in a patrol car while on duty.
Yes.
The alleged hookup happened while former Sergeant Kelly Metz and Deputy Patrick Byrne, then employed by the Comal County Sheriff's Office, were parked at an Antler Cafe, a chicken fried steak joint north of San Antonio.
Is that her right there?
I believe so. No, that can't be her. Is that her?
No, I think that's the video.
That's just, a commercial for something.
Oh, I was like,
or like
damn.
Yeah, golly.
I was not picturing a voluptuous, sexy black woman.
She's pretty cute, though, that one.
Okay.
I guess I can't see
She's
that.
okay. She looks more like,
After seeing that first picture, it's tough to follow.
Yeah.
That's all, But she's okay. Yeah, she looks more like upright. If we had seen that first, I bet we would have been like, wow, all right, for a cop, pretty good.
Right.
A witness told investigators he heard moaning sounds like sexual gratification coming from an area of the patrol units. The man who claims he overheard the romp while passing is David Brackage. He said he threw a rock at the patrol car, which later earned him a charge of criminal mischief. That'd be something if you're just hearing, the squawkers like, and you hear moaning and you throw a rock at it, and they're like, you're under arrest, not only for interrupting my sex, but criminal mischief. Neither Metz nor Byrne reported the rock damage to the cruiser and had turned off their body-worn cameras during the time of the alleged sexual encounter last May.
Should have left that on.
I know, right? If I was having sex as a police officer, I would body cam footage all of it.
Yeah.
I would be having that off hours. I'd be at my wife if I was, in the bedroom. I'm like, let's get the body cam on here while you're.
It's just now occurring to me I should get a body cam.
Do they sell them in the like Radio Shack or something?
Well, you can always tape something on you. Just get a fucking Kodak and slap it on there.
Just take your iPhone and Velcro it to your nipple or something. When Metz, a supervisor with the department, was questioned about the incident in December, she told investigators that she had been teaching Byrne how to conduct felony traffic stops and denied having sex with him. You see how things just aren't looking good now? A big old can of worms are opened up. It doesn't look good, said the investigator. Metz was later fired for not disclosing that she was romantically involved with another officer. Metz later admitted that she had sex with Byrne on 2 occasions, though she insisted the sex took place in her home.
Oh, baby. Feel the burn.
At first I thought, when I read this article, when I came across it, I thought it was about 2 female officers, which was even more fun for me.
Yeah, that would have, you could use the nightstick.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
it right in there. A taser. That probably vibrates a taser a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you just put it in the rear end of it or something, while you're lighting it up. Plus, it's dangerous. That's kind of scary. And they make their own pepper spray, getting that squirt. Metz has defended her decision not to disclose the nature of her relationship with Byrne, who had been on the force for just a matter of months. Man, that guy... He's pretty lucky. He's on the force for a couple months. He's already boning.
Is that
in
him?
The squad car. I think that might have been the
That's
guy
the guy
that
who threw the rock.
Yeah, that's the
I
rock
see.
guy. Which, by the way, that looks like a guy that shouldn't throw. I mean, go knock on it if you're gonna do something. You're throwing rocks. What are you, Dennis the Menace?
He looks like, what's his toes from the Tarantino films, Buddies with Nicholson, The Old Man, Nebraska. Who's that actor?
Oh, shit. He was in Big Love.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and the other movie.
He's got a kid that's in Hollywood too, right?
He's in Nebraska. He's old as fuck. He's like 900
Bruce
years old. Bruce Stern. Yeah,
there
Bruce
we go.
Stern.
Got it. Before the Google.
Yeah.
Suck on
old
that
school.
one, Google. I'm like that guy who played chess against the machine right there. Anywho, the 2 meetings were isolated meetings when they fucked in their home, and there was no intention to pursue anything further. They were just doing workplace fucking. It's unclear whether the department ever definitively concluded Metz and Byrne had sex while on duty, but she was terminated regardless for violating professional conduct, employee fraternization, and non-use of body-worn cameras. She got fired. Basically, one of the 3 counts was for wrongful use of the body cam.
Oh, stop it. Let her stay on. We need more cops, not less. My God. Have you walked around this goddamn town?
Also, I know, and it's such a thankless, like, they're getting, mud thrown in their face and shit. Let them fuck while they're on duty if it passes the time a little better.
Yes, for God's sakes. Let them fuck. Let them fuck in front of me.
Yeah, give cops more blowjobs. I mean, if it makes life easier for them, Jesus. Byrne also separated from the department and went to work for Somerset Police Department, and so she got another job. That's all she did get another cop job. So hopefully she fucks those people in those departments. That's like I said last week, we had a woman who was a nurse who was fucking a patient that was on dialysis, and I said, God bless her. She got fired for that. When I think we should hire more nurses who want to fuck the dialysis patients.
That's commendable. Have you ever seen the movie? I never saw it. I only saw it as like porn. There's a movie where Helen Hunt is taking care of an invalid guy, and she teaches him how to fuck.
Ooh.
It's really hot. It's like...
Is that real?
It's a real movie.
And it's Helen Hunt?
It's Helen Hunt, who I think is very hot.
Yeah, no, of course.
Oh, you got to pull it up. It's crazy. I mean, it's not just like a sexy scene. It's like a fantasy.
It's like the entire movie.
He's like crippled, and she like takes his dick off, and she's like, "Do you like that?" Not off, but out. The sessions.
The sessions. Ooh, that sounds like a porn.
It's really something else. I mean, I have really.
What's his infliction that he is?
I don't know. I didn't get that far into the plot. I think
he has an iron lung due to polio.
There you go.
Iron lung, huh?
He's got polio, and she rides his polio. And, it's really. It's a long scene. She's fully nude.
Wow.
And it's hot because like I grew up watching Mad About You, and now I'm hard about you.
Yeah.
So when you really know an actor that well, it's very spicy, and the actor is good too. What's his name? He's in American Gangster.
What was it?
John Hawkes?
Yeah, is he the lead? Yeah.
This I do not know.
Yeah,
Oh,
that guy.
right.
He's terrific.
So polio, your penis still works on polio, eh?
Evidently, according to the sessions, it does.
Interesting. I didn't know if he wasn't getting hard. I don't know if, because in Born on the 4th of July, we talked about that just a couple of weeks ago. Born on the 4th of July, he has sex with a hooker, and his penis decidedly does not work, and she just kind of pretends, and he cries. And
Oh.
do you ever see that movie?
I did see that movie. It reminds me of Forrest Gump has a similar thing where Lieutenant Dan has the hooker. And she's
Right.
like, what'd you lose your pecker in the war? You loser, you freak.
I feel like his penis still would work, though, because he only lost his legs, or was he paralyzed?
I forget what. No, I think his dick worked, but Forrest was offended by that. She tastes like cigarettes, and he was in love with Jenny. And so then when he rejected the hooker, they got mad at her, and then he defended her, and then he falls out of his chair.
Yeah, she used it as like an insult against him. But in Born on the 4th of July, his penis doesn't work. It causes him to melt down as a human being, which I can understand and empathize with. But then he goes to Mexico and fucks a hooker, and he cries because she, like, says she loves him and stuff. And then they were going to get married. He was going to marry a hooker. And then he saw her come down the stairs, and she grabs another guy's working penis and is like, yeah, that's a nice working one. And he goes, oh, what am I doing here?
Oh, this sounds like something to be into too. Like the woman leaves me to be like, I like this dick. That's all I've ever wanted.
Oh, yeah, Born on the 4th of July.
Penis, big fucking erect penis, Mom!
Remember that scene?
Vaguely. I have not watched that movie in a really long time.
I watch it every 4th of July. Gots to. It's like watching The Grinch on Christmas.
Oh, wow. All right. Maybe I'll get in there.
Hell yeah. Check it out.
I've been brought up several titimes by comedians that say, this guy has his own movie called Born on the 4th of July. And then I have to go on and be like, you're thinking of Tom Cruise. I'm in a different film.
Take the boring off of it. It's all good. Next up, though, we've got a story from Luke Rutz. JoshPotterShow@gmail.com is where you can send it in. Inmates smuggle bad heroin. Now, this is about 8 female inmates. That caught my attention already, speaking of pornos. I was like, oh, I love when it's a woman inmate story.
Whoa.
Yes.
One of them is hot, and the other one looks like she could break my dick off, but I think I would like it. Putnam County, isn't that New York?
I do believe. Oh, no, Tennessee. Putnam County, Tennessee.
It was a Putnam County in New York, too, but I could be wrong.
8 female inmates were hospitalized for emergency treatment after allegedly snorting drugs that 2 of the other inmates had smuggled inside. I wonder how they smuggled them. The inmates were transported from the Putnam County Jail to Cookeville Regional Medical Center after nearly dying of an apparent overdose. Police have decided after they confiscated a mixture of fentanyl and heroin. According to the investigators, inmates Nicole Danielle Ely and Jasmine Rochelle Lancaster, those are the 2 I believe we're looking at there. Which one do you think is Jasmine?
I'm going to say left is Jasmine.
I was going to go right. I don't know that we'll ever find the answer to that. That's tough to Google. But I just thought there would be the one on the right definitely is.
According to the caption, it looks like Jasmine's on the right.
That's how I'm going to say.
Wow.
Looks like she looks like a Jasmine that would be working at a Denny's that my father was running.
I feel like if you name your kid Jasmine, you're hoping it doesn't look like that. You're hoping for a cuter kid.
Well, it was probably, 95 or so. The Aladdin movie had just dropped, and they were like, you know what? That's a good name.
It's not bad.
That's my theory on it, at least. The pair allegedly distributed, assisted, and provided the illicit drugs to other inmates in their pod, causing the overdoses and near deaths of some of the inmates. Witnesses' statements and other evidence have confirmed that both of the 2 ladies smuggled the heroin and fentanyl into the jail through one of their body cavities while being admitted into the jail. Now, of course, I knew it was going to be in one of their body cavities. I just was wondering which one.
I feel like fentanyl in the pussy's a real gamble.
I feel like anything in drugs into the pussy, because isn't it like, it could be absorbed in the pussy?
Yeah.
Can it be absorbed in the asshole too, though, right? Mm-hmm. That's why kids booze and all that. They put tampons and vodka. Do you ever do that?
No.
I've never either. I drink, but I've never wanted to put vodka in my asshole.
I've never drank any way other than pouring alcohol into my mouth.
Of course, yeah. That's the only way I would go, too.
Yeah, same with cum. Just it goes in the mouth or nowhere,
But it could, people do the funnels in the ass, too. You seen that?
Yeah, butt chugging.
Butt chugging.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
I'm not into the butt chug.
Couldn't figure I don't understand I don't want my ass to, I think my ass smelling like old beer would be worse than it just smelling like shit. That would be worse after everything else. Witnesses, said that part. Though the inmates have been strip searched during the booking, authorities did not initially find the drugs on their persons. Boy, oh boy, that strip search. They're going to start getting thorough, though. Imagine if they just strip search and they're getting up in there. We got to check it for drugs. Gotta check your cavities. Even though the inmates are strip searched and scanned while being admitted into our facility, items inside the body cavities are not able to be seen at times. So that just seems like it's a bad sort of protocol here. I mean, we got to see what's going on in those cavities.
I'd love to see a cavity.
I'd love to, yeah, right? TSA, they can see in our cavities, can't they?
Is that right?
With those x-rays, isn't that what they're doing? They're seeing
Oh,
if
I
we've
guess
got, like,
so.
stuff
But
up
it's not
our
like
ass.
detail. It's not like, freckles and hairs.
Oh,
and
I didn't
stuff.
think that, but I would imagine that's what they're doing it for, right? Why
I
else
think
would
so.
what else would they be scanning?
I think that's a good point, yeah.
I
We
don't-
should try it.
I think they should get it for jails. That's all I'm saying. I mean, how hard is getting one of those little machines,
That'd be pretty easy. eBay.
eBay it. No, I don't know. I thought that was hot, that story.
Yeah, that was
8
sexy.
inmates getting drugs out of their cavities.
My big fantasy is like a reverse bukkake. I want like 6, 7, 8 women really.
Just squirting on you.
Yeah, just throwing shit
Have
at
you
me.
been with
Call me
a
homo.
squirter before you found your wife?
No, not really. I think it's urine. I'm pretty convinced it's urine. My wife is also, and she's a woman.
I mean, the only reason I don't give a shit what it is, quite frankly. I mean, I don't think we need to discern one way or the other, but various have told me that it's not urine, and some have told me that it is. So I don't know. I think the ones that can't do it, that try to do it, end up pissing, and they're like, it's got to be urine.
Yeah.
And then the ones that can do it, they're just, because there's no way the one girl that I was with was pissing that much. I mean, that would be alarming. That would be like you have an issue.
Maybe she
medical
drinks a
issue.
lot of tea and coffee. I mean, I piss. I can really piss with the best
Yeah,
of them.
but the squirting is a volume of water or whatever that is just, I guess, I mean, if it was piss, it's like, you got to get checked out, lady. I mean, this is, unless she came with a full bladder to the table, which I think is pretty insane to do during sex.
Such a funny idea that she's just pounding beers
That's what
and
I mean,
coffee.
yeah. Just so she could
And,
put out this illusion that she's squirting. I
and
don't
it's
know.
like dark yellow.
That's the other thing. The clear, the color of it is, I don't know. I hope it's not, but I wouldn't mind it if it is.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be fucking.
You want all of it,
squirted
like,
on.
so you want them to like line up and do it, or you want them all in like a cacophony of squirting?
Like one at a time. They're all around. I'm laying there, and it's just like, and then next up, that's what,
That's fun. I think that exists. We could make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
You should. I mean, it's not even sexual at a certain point.
No,
I feel like you could still get away with it.
I actually think my wife, I really asked nicely, just being like, I'm sorry, we're about to have a son. I got to sow some wild oats. Would you let a few of your friends piss in my face? I think she'd probably be like, yeah, I guess.
Especially if you just, instead of saying squirt in my face, piss in my face sounds so much more benign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could definitely get away with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let me finger them until they piss in my face.
Well, yeah, that would make it a little bit different, I would imagine. Well, next up, we've got a story from Christian, first-time Roach reporter out there. He sends in this story. It says, Florida teacher drowns raccoons. A teacher in Central Florida is being investigated after students recorded video. We don't have video of this, and if we did, I don't know, maybe we should.
Looks like we do. What's this video?
Oh, my Lord. I don't know if this should go on the old YouTube or not, but I'm not going to be adverse to it.
She must accidentally do it, right?
Well, I don't think so, because evidently the raccoons were drowned because they had killed several of the school's chickens. What fucking kind of school has chickens, first of all? A freshman student at Forest High School in Ocala told ABC Orlando affiliate WFTV that students and staff members raise chickens and other livestock which reside in a shed behind the school. The student, who wished to remain anonymous, said the raccoons were put in cages that were then submerged in water. In other clips, a raccoon appears to struggle as the cage is lowered into the water. They did it really, like, fucked up, too. They were, like, doing it like it was Jaws or something. They put them in these cages and then put them in these bags of water.
You go in the cage goes in the water, sharks in the water.
Like a doll's eyes.
Wow.
So, yeah, this is, like, the news footage, I guess, of
So
it.
that's it right there? They're all just holding the raccoon
Yeah,
in the
they're
water?
holding, like, the bag, and then they just lower it. And some students claim that this took minutes. So it's like they just watched the raccoons struggle. Like, teacher, that's like fucked up to
Yeah.
make them watch it. The
Yeah.
teacher's like, we're going to teach these coons a lesson.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not that much worse than putting a bullet in its head, but you are torturing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I guess, like, if you had to exterminate them, I'm sure there's, like, humane ways to do it, but at the same time, it's like a raccoon, so...
What I would do is I would
Florida.
take jars of glass and shove them into a chicken. Just jam glass shards into the chicken, then let them eat the chicken.
And then that's what they do. So the chicken gets it
The
first. They're
chicken
like,
is gonna. We got to sacrifice a chicken for
sacrificial
this.
chicken.
Yeah, put fucking nails and screws into the chicken.
Listen, chicken, this is gonna fucking suck, but you're gonna save all your chicken friends.
Yeah, your chicken buddies are gonna be better.
That way, the
off.
raccoon's just trained. It's like it's like a kid on Halloween biting into an apple that has a razor in it, and it's like, oh, I'm traumatized. We wanted people to know that he had them in cages and he had them trapped. So they trapped them in the fucking shed with the cages. I remember my grandpa had those cages. He'd trap woodchucks and shit, and then show them to me, be like, look at. But then he'd go let them loose. He wouldn't drown them in front of me in a fucking bag of water.
Yeah, we didn't do any animal drowning.
Any outdoorsy things?
I mean, we had woods. There was woods behind my parents' house, but occasionally we'd get a bird in the house, and you have to come and get it out of there. But we never fucking beat or drowned it or anything like that. We're not big animal killers.
But teachers do fucked up shit, and I feel like back in the 90s they were probably getting away with it. But now a kid will rat you out with a fucking cell phone. All those kids were like, "What? We're drowning raccoons today?" And they all just pull out their phones. And
Yeah.
I can't believe the teacher didn't, raise an eyebrow about that or get a little nervous about that. But back, in the 90s or what have you, there were no phones. Teachers were doing wild shit, I feel like, all the time.
She should have made him put it in a bag, like Chappelle's show.
Yeah.
Everyone locked their phones up.
Every
you know?
class has a yonder bag
Yeah.
in it, and that way we can drown raccoons, and none of you fucking narcs are going to tell on me at the end of the day. What happened with this woman, though? While law enforcement tells us the teacher may not have done anything illegal, well, that's kind of fucking nuts, other than traumatizing children, evidently, she is certainly going to be questioned.
All right, they'll question her. There you go.
The FWC, the Fish Wildlife Conservation, is taking the matter very seriously, and the teacher who is not identified has been placed on paid administrative leave on Tuesday, pending the outcome. A Facebook page for the school's Future Farmers of America. What the fuck kind of school is this where they got all this outdoorsy shit? I wonder if that's what's going on in certain schools. They're like, well, we tried the old, you're going to be in a business school route. Let's just teach them how to raise chickens now. We're done with college and formal education.
Yeah, I guess it's an agro.
Yeah, why not?
school.
I mean, teach them how to weld, teach them how to do all that kind of shit, teach them how to balance a fucking checkbook, do taxes, that kind of thing. Why are, school today is the worst.
Yeah.
He's always gone above and beyond his Call of Duty, this is about the teacher, to ensure that his students had everything they needed. He spent late nights, weekends, and provided around-the-clock support for his club and for his school, the statement read. So it's a club about chickens and farm life. That's interesting. Agricultural club. He's a man of faith and has always provided the wisdom and guidance needed for his students to succeed. He's a supporter of the agricultural industry and the FFA. They have to put out these statements. I read them at the end every time. They put out the statements just to be like, hey, this guy's not so bad. Come on, give him a break. He drowned a couple raccoons. They must have been a menace.
A man of faith. That was Tom Brenneman's.
I'm a man of faith. And there's a deep drive into left center. How was it working with Tom?
It was
great. He's the man, but was it like were there people that were mad at you for working with him? I was curious about that.
No, I didn't hear from one. I mean, it was a very small show.
What's funny too is the home run meme has become, people don't even remember why that happened anymore.
Right.
And I know that he was mad about that at first, or was upset that it kind of took off that way, but it probably was, I think, the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, I think like we talked about earlier, everyone just keeps moves on. They don't know who Tom Brenneman is. Sam Harris, who I love, has a great point. He said, if you've never heard of somebody before the controversial thing that happens,
Yeah.
you should not be affected by it.
Of course.
The majority of the people that were upset about Tom Brenneman, they didn't even know who Tom Brenneman was. They were like, what? A guy said that? It's like, don't worry about it. You're not watching the Reds home games.
Fucking Nick Castellanos, though, now he's haunted by this thing. Every time he hits a home run, it seems
Yeah.
something terrible in the world happens. And the Reds just got scheduled to play a doubleheader on September 11th. this year because of a
He's gonna
rainout. So
go 6 for
everyone's
6.
like, everyone's like, he's gonna hit 5 bombs. There was like a meme of Nick Castellanos just blasting. They're like, Nick Castellanos on September 11th, and he's just hitting bombs the entire time. It's wild.
But no, Tom was great to work with. He was a pleasure.
Yeah, he's the man. He's such a nice dude. I can't wait to get out to Cincinnati, do a live show with him. That'll be the most fun. But it's so cool. I remember hitting you up when I saw that you were working with him, and I'm like, that's got to be fucking awesome. The Pioneer Baseball League, though, I wouldn't even know. Did you have to learn about it when you did it?
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, that's what I did
That's what I
every
was going to say. I was
Wednesday,
like, are you an expert on the Pioneer Baseball League?
No, we just talked baseball and fucked around, and it was great. We had a lot of laughs.
That's awesome. Well, I love that you came into studio. Thanks for coming. It's not often we get you out here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back again sometime. Tell everyone where they can see you, what you want to plug.
At Joe List Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. My YouTube page, that's the big thing I'm trying to push. I have a new special coming out August 18th called Enough for Everybody, and there's 2 other specials on YouTube, I Hate Myself and This Year's Material. So you can go watch those ones before the new one comes out. Subscribe to my channel. This Year's Material is on my channel. Go subscribe, and comedianjoelist.com for dates.
And thank you for subscribing to this channel if you already have. If you haven't, do that as well. We just talked about 2 clicks. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps us a great deal. I appreciate you checking out the show once again. At Josh_Potter on Instagram is where you can go get all the tickets for all the shows and the link in the bio. Same with Twitter at J_Potter. Go check it out. Lots of fall dates coming up. More to be announced very soon. And other than that, I hope we see you next Wednesday right here on The Josh Potter Show.